What's up, everybody? I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. My name is Mel and welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, and spirituality. So if those are the things that interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, let's get into it. This is the Stargazer weekly astrology forecast for the week of September 13th through September 19th. First of all, can you believe that we're in September already? I feel like the year just started. I feel like quarantine just started like 2 days ago. Everything is going super fast. Even though there's a lot of turbulence, it's still going at like lightning speed. So again, I hope that you all are being safe and healthy out there. I hope that everything is good for you because this week is going to be a little turbulent. Not so much turbulent in the sense that we're used to. Again, we still have a lot of like energetic shifts playing out in society, as I'm sure you're well aware. But this week is going to be about a lot of inner turbulence. It's about spiritual growth. And you know that you can't have growth without growing pains. And that's really the theme of this week. You know, September, usually once the summer ends and we get into September, there's a lot of, we start feeling a little serious, right? We want to start taking things seriously. From a business perspective, you're getting ready for fourth quarter, which for a lot of companies can be a really prosperous time where you can finally get into the black. For everyone else, you're getting back into your daily routines, you're getting back to school. So there's a certain seriousness that comes with September. And this week is sort of, that's kind of how it's playing out in the astrology as well. The big thing is that we have a new moon in the sign of Virgo on Thursday the 17th, I believe. Yes, it's the 17th. And new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about everything having come full circle, and now we're starting the cycle all over again. And it's a time to create intentions. It's a time to set goals. It's a time to just, again, it's like a reset. So you have this opportunity and this energy from the new moon to start something new or revamp something in a new way. Now this new moon is going to be the first in a series of 3 super new moons. So this one in September, the one in October, and the one in November, all 3 of these new moons are super new moons, which is going to lead to a total solar new moon eclipse in December. So this is sort of the pathway. The image I'm getting right now is sort of on an airplane. You know, the lights in the aisles, like they're lighting up one after the other until everything is lit up. And that's exactly what we're leading up to in December. So these super new moons are super fully charged. They carry a lot of energy with them. And with a lot of energy can come this feeling of sort of instability or not being, not being on like even footing. And that's how you grow. It's through being uncomfortable that you're able to grow. So not only do we have this new moon coming up this week, but we have something pretty pivotal, which is the sun and the moon are both going to be square the nodes of fate this week. So the sun and the moon in their positions as they're traveling throughout their orbit, they're going to square the north node and the south node. They're both going to do that this week. And the moon and the sun represent us. It's like a microcosm of us. It's our external personality, our internal emotions and feelings. So there's going to be a lot of energy directed at us on a personal level that's, again, going to make us feel a little shaky. It's going to make us feel unstable, but it's also going to push us towards where we need to go. For those of you that are not aware of what the nodes of fate are, they're the north node and the south node. The south node is all about where you've been. A lot of people tend to associate the south node with past life activity or karma, things that you're already familiar with, things that you know, things that you've already experienced. And on the other hand, you have the north node, which is all about your destiny. It's about where you're going. It's about the mold that you are supposed to fit into in this life. And getting to the North Node, getting to your personal destiny can be a bit uncomfortable, because oftentimes it's a place, it's a status, it's a position, it's a state of being that you're not there yet. You have to grow into it. So it can be a little uncomfortable. And this is what we're feeling this week. So yeah, so it's definitely going to be an interesting week. Let's see how things play out, and let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that is going on this week is the sun is going to be square the North Node on September 14th, on Monday, September 14th. This goes back to what I was saying before about this being a sort of transformative time that is focused on soul growth and ascension, and it's going to feel a little uncomfortable. So let's talk about the sun for a second. We all know what the sun is. The sun shines. The sun represents our ego. It represents what we project onto the world, and it has to do with basically us, on an external level. So the sun is currently in Virgo, and Virgo is all about healing. It's all about work, details, being diligent, perfection, service toward others. So that is what our egos are focused on at this moment. And that's basically what our egos are focused on throughout Virgo season. So up until the 23rd of this month, that's where our focus is directed. Now, I want to get into the North Node a little bit because it can be a little bit confusing. The North Node isn't actually a place or a planet or an asteroid. It's actually a mathematical point that is calculated using the lunar cycles as it pertains to you in particular in your chart. So it's not an actual place. It's not someplace you can go. It's not a planet. It's a mathematical point in your chart that represents where you are headed in this life. And that is in Gemini right now. The North Node will stay in Gemini. It stays in each sign for about a year and a half. And that's where it's currently located. And opposite it is the South Node. Like I was explaining before, South Node is all about karma, where you've been. North Node is all about destiny and where you're going. So the South Node is in Sagittarius right now. So it's important to note that the sun, the North Node, and the South Node are all in mutable signs. Mutable signs are all about flexibility and adaptability. It's all about change. These signs are in flux. These signs are, if you notice in the actual Gregorian calendar, when we change seasons, the signs where the seasons change are the mutable signs. So right now we're in September. We change from summer to fall, and that's Virgo. Then we have Sagittarius, which is fall to winter. Then we have Gemini. What's the air sign? No, I'm sorry. After Sagittarius, we have Pisces, which is winter to spring, I believe. And then we have Gemini, which is spring to summer. So it's all about change. It's all about change. It's all about flux. It's all about being adaptable, all of that stuff. And that's what you are, that's what you need to be this week and going forward, because everything is changing in the world and we need to learn to adapt and roll with the punches. But anyway, back to Sun Square North Node. So basically what this transit is conveying to us is that in the present moment, you become aware of using what you already know and have experienced in order to learn something new. Like I said, the North Node is in Gemini, the South Node is in Sagittarius. Both of these signs are concerned with learning and education. Gemini is all about learning and like lower education. It's all about perfecting a particular technique or skill. Sagittarius is concerned with higher education and sort of those higher level concepts like philosophy, religion, and whatnot. So basically what that means is you're using this broad high level knowledge, right, of religion, of philosophy, of all of those kind of things in order to learn a new skill going forward. You're going to tap into that energy in order to learn something new that's going to help you develop a particular skill set or technique that you can use to get to where you're going in this lifetime. And with the sun being right in the middle of those two and squaring them, it's all about being present in the present moment and actually realizing this. Virgo is an earth sign. It's a practical sign. So it's all going to be about directing your mind and your thoughts in the present moment right now by tapping into skills you already know and use and knowledge that you have of broad esoteric things, and channel that into a particular skill, technique, or skill set that you could use to get to where you're going in life. This is basically what this transit is all about. It's a broad experience that can be useful in learning a new skill or sparking a new idea. So tapping into this broad level knowledge might spark a new idea right now that you could incorporate into your daily routine, that you can incorporate into your day-to-day activities and responsibilities, that's really going to help you in the future. And it's some sort of opportunity, but this opportunity is going to come out of a challenge or a struggle. So if there's an area in your life right now where you're experiencing a bit of a struggle, especially wherever Virgo is in your chart, you might experience some, tension, challenge, like I said before, that's going to make you think of a new idea, that's going to require you to acquire a new skill set. And in doing this, you're going to tap into things that you already know. You're going to tap into, like I said, that higher level of education and knowledge that's going to help you acquire this new skill. But again, the whole point of this transit is to be flexible and adaptable. If you're stuck in your ways or rigid, this opportunity is going to pass you by and you're not going to be able to take advantage of it. Or you might not get that spark of an idea that you're going to need that's going to help you in the future. So like I said, that's what's going on September 14th. And that's one of the themes, the broad themes of this week that you need to keep in mind going forward. On the following day, September 15th, Tuesday, September 15th, we have Venus square Uranus at 10 degrees. Venus is currently in Leo and Uranus is currently in Taurus. So Venus in Leo is actually kind of a nice placement because Leo is all about doing things from your heart. Leo is very passion focused, romantic, playful, fun. And so Venus does well in Leo. And being at 10 degrees, there's going to be this feeling of romance, of, this very flirty energy, lighthearted fun. You may want to be flirting with everybody, getting into flings. It's definitely not serious. We're not talking about serious commitment. We're definitely talking about fun, dating-like energy. And this transit is sort of marked by your desire to want to break out of the norm. So when it comes to your romantic relationships, when it comes to having fun and flirting, you want something extraordinary. You want something out of the norm. You want something that'll knock your socks off and be really exciting. While this is good, there's always a pro and a con to everything. The pro is that you can, in your existing relationships, like let's say you're dating, let's say you're flirting, if your partner is down for it and wants to experience new things and exciting things, this could definitely open up your relationship. This transit would definitely, for those that have existing relationships, even if they're not serious, this transit could definitely test the flexibility of your relationship. Like I said, if your partner is open and willing and is definitely looking to experiencing things new as well, this could definitely open up your relationship. So much so that it could open it up to being more stable and even open it up to like a solid commitment. Just think about it this way. Let's say you're dating somebody and you're like, yo, I really like skydiving. This week I just feel the urge to go skydiving. You want to come with me? And they're like, yeah, sure. So imagine y'all go through the whole process of going skydiving together. You know, it could be a little scary. There's an adrenaline rush, all of that. But it actually, in doing so, it helps you solidify your relationship. So after that, y'all may be like, you know what? Why don't we just take this to the next level? Or you may, in doing that sort of risky and sort of exciting activity, it could cause you two to get closer and maybe even decide to commit to each other. So that's the pro of this transit when it comes to existing relationships. Now, even if you don't have an existing relationship, let's say you're just playing the field and you're just out there, and even not in romantic relationships, let's say just how you relate to everyone could be in a very fun, lighthearted, and passionate sort of way. But your desire to experience excitement and something new could rub other people the wrong way. It can make people feel you may come off as pushy, you may come off as like demanding or setting these expectations that are just unreachable, which could lead to conflict. So that's sort of the con of this transit. It could either solidify relationships or it could cause conflict. But either way, try to approach things with fun and lightheartedness and just nothing too serious. That's basically how that transit is going to play out. And again, that's on Tuesday, September 15th. So next up on Thursday, September 17th, we have the biggie. We have the big star event of the week, which is the new moon in Virgo happening at 25 degrees. This is like the culmination of everything that I was talking about before. This energy is going to be pretty intense because it's squaring both the North Node and the South Node. So there's sort of this conflict, but out of that is going to arise events and opportunities that are going to allow you to reach your destiny and grow into where you're supposed to go in this lifetime. So like I said, it's going to be square the North and the South nodes. They call this moon a moon wobble, and I'm going to get really into that in detail in my upcoming video about the new moon in Virgo. But basically, it's like you're going to be feeling wobbly or off balance. It's uncomfortability that leads to spiritual growth. And this new moon is going to heighten and intensify that uncomfortable feeling. You know, they always say that like inventions are born out of necessity. When something isn't working right, or when something has basically run its course, that's when you start coming up with new ideas on how to do it better or how to do it differently. That's how inventions happen. And that's sort of the energy of this new moon, especially with it square the nodes. It's more about, again, Gemini, the North Node is in Gemini. And like I said, both Gemini and Sagittarius are concerned with education and learning. And Gemini is all about ideas. It's communication, it's ideas. So there's an idea that's going to propel you forward towards where you need to go. And you need to take a look at where the North Node is in your particular chart in order to understand this in a better way. Like for instance, the North Node in Gemini is actually in my second house of money and finances. So this Gemini North Node transit, which is lasting for a year and change, is going to help me come up with new ideas about how to make money, how to acquire wealth, how to acquire material possessions and things of that nature. So that's just an example that you can use when you look at the North Node in your own particular chart and how that is going to be, how this new moon is going to play on that. But anyway, back to what I was talking about before. So another reason why this is going to feel uncomfortable is because we also have Mars retrograde in the mix. Mars retrograde is actually going to be quincunx this new moon. And I'm not even going to go into what quincunx means. It's another astrological aspect, but just know that this uncomfortability is going to be like, you're going to have this Mars retrograde energy, which is already having you feeling cranky, frustrated, all of those sort of feelings, aggy, and it's going to add that. So the best advice is to definitely not try to pop off on anybody. Try not to have conflicts because it's just going to exacerbate this uncomfortable feeling that we're all feeling right now. And I definitely urge you to watch my September TAROTSCOPES because I go into Mars retrograde for each sign, what it's going to mean for you, what you need to watch out for. So you can definitely check out those videos. I'll put the link to the playlist in the description box. But yeah, try not to fight, try not to, have conflict with people, because it's just going to make things worse. But let me step back for a second, because I forgot to mention something really important. What the new moon is. The new moon phase of the moon is when the moon and the sun are conjunct. They're in the same sign. They're at the same degree. They're right on top of each other. Well, not really. It's like as soon as the sun sets, the moon is out. As soon as the moon sets, the sun comes out. So it's that phase of the moon. And I'll actually put a link to my blog post about the phases of the moon in the description box as well, so you could check out that and learn more about that. But anyway, back to the new moon in Virgo at 25 degrees. So Virgo is all about healing. Apart from just being of service to others and being very perfectionist and meticulous and really paying attention to details and being a diligent worker, Virgo is all about healing as well. So the best way to use the energy of this new moon is to invite healing into your own personal life. Wherever this new moon is happening in your chart, you may want to think about what needs to be healed. Apart from that, Virgo is all about efficiency, how to work efficiently, how to organize and structure things. You may want to take a look at where this new moon is happening in your chart, and that may be where you might want to clean things up a little bit, where you might want to invite healing in order to live your best life. Also, during this new moon, be mindful of what you're ingesting. Not only just food-wise, but what you're ingesting, like what you give your attention to. Virgo is all about the digestive tract and the stomach. So your stomach may be a little more sensitive around this time. So, be mindful of what you're eating, but also be mindful of what you're listening to, what you're watching. Like I said, the North Node is in Gemini, and it's all about ideas. And you want those ideas to come from a great place. You don't want them to be clouded with gunk that you've been ingesting from the news, from TV, from social media. So also be mindful of that. Again, this Virgo new moon is also a good time to get organized and fine-tune the details of your life. Again, your particular birth chart, your natal chart will tell you exactly where this is happening and where you can do all of that. So apart from just the energy of the new moon, this new moon is also going to be trine Saturn in Capricorn. And what that means is that it's going to give us the energy to get super disciplined and commit to organizing and structuring our lives. Saturn and Virgo, the planet Saturn in Capricorn is very practical. And it's all about discipline, and it's all about doing things that will lead to stability in your life. It's all about building a structure that's going to last. And so this new moon also carries this effortless energy of discipline and being realistic. It's also about being conscious of our own limits, realistic about our abilities, and willing to put in the work to bring our goals to fruition. Now, this all sounds great, but keep in mind that this is also going to be pretty intense. Saturn is a no joke kind of planet. And it's all about, like I said, discipline, restrictions, limits. But if you use that energy in a constructive way, along with the energy of this new moon in Virgo, you can really set yourself up for like a brand new life in a very realistic way. It's not going to be I'm setting these pie in the sky goals that I may or may not achieve. This is actually setting goals that are realistic, because you're thinking about your actual abilities and your actual strengths and weaknesses, and actually putting in the work to make it happen. So again, I can't stress enough how important this new moon is. Like I said before, it's the first in a series of 3 super new moons that's going to lead to a total solar new moon eclipse in December. So if you start using this energy now, if you start now, this week, getting organized, looking at your life in a realistic sort of way, thinking about where you've been, the knowledge that you already have, and using it to craft new ideas, you could really set yourself up for a whole new life. Real talk. So definitely heed this message and take this energy seriously. Take some time to think about it. This new moon is happening on Thursday. From now until Thursday, why don't you get pen to paper and sort of think about what you want to improve in your life? pull up your natal chart, see where all of this is happening, and you can really craft a strategy that could really change your life for the better. So yeah, that is the star of the show that's happening on Thursday. And again, it's going to be intense, but it's for the purpose of taking you where you need to go. You need to keep that in mind. All of these changes, these challenges, these obstacles, the tension that may be felt, it's all about taking you to where you need to go in this life. So next up, also on September 17th, on Thursday, September 17th, we have Jupiter square Mercury. Now, if you're not aware, Jupiter just turned direct after having been retrograde since May. So again, if you watch the September TAROTSCOPES, you'll know all about it for each sign. But like I said before, Jupiter normally when Jupiter was retrograde, Jupiter didn't have the energy to act in its normal nature, meaning that Jupiter didn't have the energy to bestow abundance, blessings, good fortune, luck, optimism, expansion. It didn't have that energy. So now that it's gone direct, Jupiter is now going to have the energy to do all of that. The one downside is that Jupiter is in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Capricorn is not the best placement. It's actually Jupiter in Capricorn is what's called being in fall. And in fall, not to be confused with autumn, fall means the opposite of its exaltation. So it's in this weakened state. So although it's direct, although it's going forward full steam ahead, because it's in Capricorn, it's hard for it to expand. Think of Capricorn as being like a block of ice. Jupiter is all about expanding, but how can you expand if you're within this block of ice? And the block of ice that Saturn represents is like materialism and being really grounded. Jupiter is all about expansion. So if it's in a sign like Capricorn where it's like crystallizing, a block of ice and restriction, it's hard for Jupiter to really exhibit its natural energy the way it would like to. So when it comes to that, we have that sort of restrictive energy with Jupiter having just gone direct. And this is square Mercury in Libra at 17 degrees. Mercury in Libra is great at communicating and thinking about pros and cons. You know, Libra is all about the balancing scale. So you can see both sides very clearly. And normally Jupiter square Mercury is all about making big plans. Like I said, Jupiter is all about expansion, right? So with Mercury there, again, Mercury is all about communication and ideas. It's about making grand plans and setting long-range goals. Like you can see the entire picture. You can see the pros, you can see the cons. It's all great. Now, there again, you're wanting to make these grand plans, but the energy is just not there right now in order to do so. On the downside, not only you don't have that full Jupiterian energy to sort of thrust these ideas out there, you also aren't paying attention to details. And being that we're in the sign of Virgo right now, that is a pretty big downside because you want to make these grand plans, but you're like overlooking the details. So you're like, whatever, I just want to get a car. You're not looking at the details of what your credit score is, how much money you have in the bank, all of that stuff. You're like, I'm just focused on getting a new car, just to give you an example. And being that this is happening at 17 degrees, which is the Leo degree, this is all about something that you love doing that can help you stand out and that can give you a sense of pride. So these grand plans that you're trying to make, it's all about plans that'll help you stand out and plans that, you know, involve doing something that you really love. There is a little bit of assistance here because there's a loose sextile to Venus in Leo. So in order to sort of overcome, and mind you, it's not going to completely overcome this Jupiter direct in Capricorn restriction, but it can help you a little bit. So this loose sextile to Venus at 14 degrees Leo, if you are a little creative in your thinking and charming in your communication, you may be able to set these ideas in motion, or these ideas may be able to get off the ground. Also, there may be other people who can help you with these ideas. That's the whole thing of Venus. Venus is all about relationships. and with Mercury being in Libra, the sign of relationships, of balancing scales, there may be people who can help you with these ideas. So keep that in mind with Jupiter square Mercury. This isn't a very long transit. Mercury moves very quickly. So by the weekend, this transit won't be in effect anymore. But just keep all of that in mind as you move through this week. And especially if you're meeting people or there are people in your immediate environment and you suddenly come up with this idea, or you're talking to them about ideas, definitely keep this transit and this transit energy in mind as you move forward. So finally, on September 18th, we close out the week with Mercury conjunct the moon. So just the day before, on the 17th, the moon was conjunct the sun in Virgo. And in one day, the moon switches signs. The moon, its total orbit is about a month, so it switches signs very frequently. So by the 18th, the moon is in the sign of Libra and it's conjunct Mercury at 19 degrees. And this is a very quick transit, only going to last for the day, but it's a great day to express your feelings, especially in relationships. Doing so can bring a lot of balance and equality. And again, when I say relationships, it's not just romantic relationships, business relationships, friendships. On this particular day, any of your personal relationships, it would be a great time to express your feelings. And you may have more ease expressing your feelings as well, even if you're someone who has a hard time putting your feelings to words, saying them out loud. You might find that it's a bit easier on this day. So definitely take advantage of that energy, because again, it's going to be really quick, but I feel like you can definitely make some headway in your relationships, even if it's just a little bit. But it's always good to let other people know how you feel. And that doesn't mean just, hey, I love you, or lovey-dovey type shit. It could mean, hey, I don't like this. Or I feel, when you do this, I feel that. It's all about speaking your truth, and it's all about getting to the heart of the matter by speaking your true emotions. Definitely activate that throat chakra on the 18th. Your emotions will definitely come easy to you. And like I said, I feel like you'll be able to have more balance and harmony in your relationships if you do so. All right, so that has been the week of September 13th through September 19th, astrologically speaking. I hope that you guys were able to get some great information from this video. Like I said, I'm gonna link the TAROTSCOPE playlist in the description box so you can check that out, as well as a link to my blog post on the moon phases, so that you can learn more about the new moon and the full moon and all 8 lunation phases. So all of that is going to be in the description box below. Like I said, I hope you guys gained something from this, and it's great to know what's coming ahead, because then you can sort of plan out your week. I like to do that at the beginning of the week, see what transits are going on so that I know what to prepare for, know what I can do. Like for instance, we've got a new moon coming up. It's a great day and a great week to do some new moon rituals, so you can get that on and popping. Like I said, I like doing these videos because it sort of keeps you prepared and you know what to anticipate going forward. And that's really the spirit in which I do these videos. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I come out with these videos every week, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. Every week I do a weekly series over there on a quick and dirty tarot read for the upcoming energies for that week. So here on YouTube, you get the astrological week ahead. On Instagram and IGTV, you get the tarot and spiritual message week ahead. So I got you covered on both ends. So definitely don't forget to follow me there so you don't miss that. As always, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, that link is in the description box as well. As always, my loves, it is a pleasure to bring this information to you. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next week.